We just passed the middle of September now, and as you can see, my Physalis, also known as the golden berry, Cape Gooseberry, it's got lots and lots of names. I'll just show you a close-up so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. There's still lots of berries on it here. Here's one. So you pick one of these beautiful little parcels here, like Chinese lanterns, and then you open them up. So even if they fall to the ground, when they're really ripe, they do tend to fall. If they fall to the ground, they just stay clean because the beautiful berry inside is wrapped in this beautiful parcel. And then there you go, it's a beautiful golden thing there. Wonderful. And if I bite into it, I can show you that it really looks like a tomato. It's in the nightshade family, just like tomatoes are. But it's really such a different flavor. It just tastes really, really tropical, really sweet, really fresh. A bit of pineapple maybe. I taste a bit of vanilla as well. Just really a wonderful, wonderful berry. We use it in salads and we love eating them just with anything really. But I grew this from a seed, from a packet. I bought a bunch of these fruits actually from a supermarket, and then one of them was a little bit rotten, so I took it and squeezed the seeds out like I do with tomatoes and planted them up in March last year, so in 2021. And they grew, but because I'd started them in March, they started ripening quite late in the year. So maybe about now I got the first ripe ones. And then they kept on going, and they are tender, just like tomatoes, so they can't actually live outside if it starts being really freezing and drops to the frost, sort of starts being -1 or whatever. But what actually happened is that because we're in a really protected little area, we are in southern England, but also we're in like a really protected tiny little courtyard here, which is why it has to be in a little tiny container because there's no actual soil here in this little area. It's a paved courtyard. So it's so protected that they kept on living and producing flowers and fruits throughout Christmas, throughout January and February. I think in March they got hit by a sort of really late frost that really stayed for a few days, and that just killed them completely. And I thought, okay, fair enough, they're not perennials. We'll just have to grow some new ones from seed. But after all danger of frost passed, they started shooting up loads of little growth down here from the stems. You see, I, for example, cut this one down here. And then this one is one that shot up this year. And you can see it's branching out lots. They really, really sprawl. That's their sort of habit. And so here, there's lots of little new growth down here too, which might survive winter, or else maybe they'll have some other ones. I'm interested to see if these ones are going to survive this winter. But we'll just have to see what happens. I intend to mulch it, because what I like to do is, when I've got these things that are quite sensitive, then I'll get a bunch of leaves, like fallen leaves from the trees. I'll just show you something else here. There's still all flowering, so we're gonna get lots more fruit continuously. With these beautiful flowers here. But yeah, so we get all the leaves from the fallen trees, and I'll just cover a really thick layer of mulch down here on the ground, and that will hopefully just help them really stay warm. What I like to do is, because they're like tomatoes and they're growing so tall, I have this little trellis I put up. I didn't have this last year, and they kept on flopping over and trying to line the ground. But I got this trellis here, it's a wooden trellis. It's not even that tall, but I just get them tied up really messily to it, all bunched up, however it works, just to try to get them sort of pulled into the side, because I actually hang my laundry out here. So I got my little spinny thing. I'll show you exactly how it looks. There it is, my laundry spinny thing. And so I need to have space for the laundry to go around and not constantly hit these poor little plants. And give them some support too. They're just like tomatoes, they like to be staked. There's so many gorgeous flowers here coming in. Just so nice. They're a really, really pretty plant to grow. You can see they're starting to, like, lots of the leaves are turning yellow, so it could be a sign that they are just going into autumn now. And now what I also find is they do like lots of sun. They like tomatoes again. They want sunshine for the plants to grow, but they don't want to be in boiling hot sun. So this one does get quite a lot of sun. And what we had is, this year we had a really, really hot summer with super high temperatures, much higher than usual. And I found that when I'd come home, sort of in the afternoon, these ones would all be completely drooping. They probably ran out of water, and they were just completely sagging, you know, which is not ideal, obviously. And so I'd have to give them a big drink, and then they would just lift themselves back up again. But if I could do it differently, if I had another place for them, I would actually want to plant them in sort of a position where they didn't get as hot sun. I think they probably want to be in a little bit of shade, a little bit protecting from really, really hot sun. So it really depends on where you live and how you have to treat these guys. But they like lots of sunlight, but they don't want to be in like boiling sun. And I think the fact that we had laundry out here sometimes actually protected them too from getting like too much boiling sun, and sort of gave them a bit of shade too. So it's funny how that worked out. But yeah, they just do like lots of light, and it's going to be good for the winter too, when the sun, of course, is not as hot either. Then that will give them some extra protection from the cold, and just, yeah, let them carry on, hopefully fruiting for quite a while. It's always so wonderful to have any fruits you get in the winter you feel are such a bonus, because you're not expecting them. I've actually got some little tiny cucumber melons growing up in between. You see these little cucumber melons here? Because they're such tender little vines, delicate little vines, they can just sort of grow in between all the little extra spaces. They come from over here, from this pot, and they just sort of spread themselves over. So it's quite funny. I've got such a small garden, so anything that can fit in just finds a little space for itself. It's wonderful. There's another one. But yeah, and anything else, I do like to feed it a lot because it's in such a small pot and it's stuck there. In the spring, I scrape out the top of all the soil and add fresh soil with any nutrition I can. Because they're in the tomato family, I have also fed it a few times with this thing here, which is a tomato feed, Tomarite. It's like with seaweed extract, so that worked really well. I also, as you can probably see in the soil, there's quite a bit of crunched up, really ground up, what's it called, eggshells. So I take those, that's also just kitchen waste. I just grind the eggshells down after putting them in the oven for a little bit, just to make sure there's no bad germs or anything in there. And then put them down here just to give them extra calcium, because really often tomatoes need extra calcium too, so I thought it would be good to enrich the soil a bit. I also like to use chopped up tomato skin, banana skins. I soak them in water, and then water all this with that soaked up banana skins, and then occasionally little bits of chopped up banana skin ends up in the soil, and that just also helps it. So, you know, I like to use whatever I can from kitchen waste to constantly feed these little guys too. I think they're quite hungry as well. And I also gave them Epsom salts too at one point, because that's supposed to help all fruits get extra sweet as well. There's lots of magnesium in that. So lots of things to feed it every so often, and it's just something to be aware of when they're in a container. You want to give it extra food than you would have to if they were in the ground, where they can get nutrition from other places too. So, but it's a really wonderful, fruitful plant to grow, so I'm really happy we've got it here, and it's going to be interesting to see how it fares this winter. You just never know how cold the winter is going to be and how it will do, but I'm looking forward to trying to keep it growing. And if they do die, I'll have to grow some more from seed, so it's never too bad. But hopefully this one will carry on. It's a wonderful plant to be able to grow as a perennial, and the really brilliant thing about growing as a perennial is that you get such a head start in the seasons. I was picking these already back in May, I think, the first ones, which is absolutely wonderful. So yeah, definitely a super duper fruit to grow.